Hey everyone, I'm Yun, and today we're going to be playing a game called What's Your Gender? It is described as an adventure into a non-Euclidean labyrinth where you explore terms and concepts related to gender and identity. And it got the Melbourne Queer Games Festival 2021 bronze medal. It was created by a development team called Purple Sloth Studio with 6 people. Just a little bit about them from their website. It says they're an indie game studio formed in Berlin in early 2018 with the expressed purpose of creating video games with a political subtext in a safe and supportive environment. Here's the home screen, and let's get started. Can I close that? I didn't mean to click that. I guess we don't have anything else to do. Okay. What about this one? Oh, button. Okay. What happened to the music? The music was really nice. It was very dramatic before. Okay, we're starting out with cis.
Do I fit the category other people assigned me?
We have some voice acting. That's cool. Cisgender or cis is a term for people whose gender identity matches their sex assigned at birth. The term is derived from the Latin prefix cis, meaning on the side of. Alrighty, what if I don't follow the arrows? What's over here? Trans. We're gonna go in this room.
How do I know what my gender is?
I like the cool structures. Trans is an umbrella term for anyone whose gender does not fully match the sex they were assigned at birth. Today, the term is most commonly used as an adjective, but it can also be used as part of compound nouns that describe a given identity, such as trans man or trans woman, I think is what that's referring to. Okay, cis, we already went there. Let's go to the right. Oh, this is very clever. All right. So if you keep following the arrows, you keep coming back to cis. That's really smart. I like that a lot. Because you're aligned with the sex you were assigned at birth and how that impacts how you live out your life. So going against the arrows, we discovered trans. Ironically, I did that on instinct. That's also just part of, I think, video game behavior is like, what happens when I don't follow what I think is expected of me? Okay, that beautiful music is back, which I'm really happy about. It was very soothing. We have a spiral staircase.
Sometimes I think that the fights that have already been fought decades ago just keep repeating.
Okay, now this word I don't know, and I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Hijra? In some South Asian countries, including India, Indonesia, Pakistan, and Bangladesh, the Hijra are trans or intersex people with a distinct and established gender identity. This is a very ancient tradition of a gender role that escapes a rigid gender binary, sometimes called third gender. The term is at times used to describe people who have other gender identities that are less well known in Western discourse. In some such cases, the term is offensive. All right. Learned something new there. I may have heard that before, but just not remembered the word. Now, are all these rooms different?
Is it a Western norm of gender that is repressing all other ideas and constructs?
Two-spirit is a modern umbrella term used by some indigenous North Americans to describe Native people in their communities who fulfill a traditional third gender or gender variant, ceremonial and social role in their cultures. The term Two-Spirit was created in 1990 at the Indigenous Lesbian and Gay International Gathering in Winnipeg, and specifically chosen to distinguish and distance Native American First Nations people from non-Native peoples. Cool. I want to make sure I didn't miss a room, so I'm going to go down the staircase and then work my way back up. Okay, that's where we came from. That's trans. Whoa, this room's got moving boxes. All right, that's... turn around. Okay, that's dysphoria. We're not going to do that one yet. Actually, I think we're going to check out the other rooms first. Very scary looking room. This was Two-Spirit. Is this a situation where, okay, the staircase just keeps infinitely generating? Do I have to go in the dysphoria room? There's not another room. That's the trans room. This is the Hijra room. Oh no. Okay, I think we don't have any other choice. Yeah, let's do it. Scary room. We have... Oh gosh, is that gonna push me? We have a lot of freaking boxes in the way. Hello? Oh, I can walk through them. It's fine. Okay, dysphoria. Gender dysphoria refers to negative feelings arising from some aspect of gender experience. Examples include body dysphoria, one caused by aspects of one's own body, as well as being misgendered. Gender dysphoria is experienced by many, but not all trans people. The term can also be used diagnostically, referring to persistent and clinically significant discomfort within a assigned gender. Yes, I am very familiar with that.
Which situations make me feel euphoric about myself?
Oh, this is very nice. This is the opposite term, euphoria. And all the misplaced floating blocks from dysphoria form a pathway. This is really cool. So all these, maybe aspects of your life causing you strife can be rearranged and reform something really nice. Euphoria, or gender euphoria, sometimes called gender congruence, is the antonym to gender dysphoria. It describes the phenomenon of a person experiencing joy due to one or multiple aspects of their gender identity or expression. For example, pronouns, body features, or labels. Ooh, okay, I'm gonna check out this tree first. I love this style. I've seen some other games use this style as well, where it's just the outline of the 3D models and then very striking uses of color gradients, and it's really lovely. I think this tree was purple before. Did it change colors? It might have changed colors. Let's see what's down here. Oh, I think this is an elevator. I didn't mean to do that. Okay. Take me back, actually. It's like a tube? Oh, the tree is green now. Oh, it's turning purple. Okay, maybe it goes through color shifts. I guess we'll look at this room. That says... Dia? Not sure how to pronounce that. An intersex person has sex characteristics, examples sexual anatomy, reproductive organs, and or chromosome patterns, that do not fit the typical definition of male or female. This may be apparent at birth or become so later in life. For example, puberty. Intersex people, just like dyadic people may identify with any sexual orientation or gender identity. Dyadic is a word used to refer to people who are not intersex. Dyadic people were born with sex characteristics which could be categorized into one of the binary genders. All right.
Everyone should be able to make their own decisions concerning their body.
Ooh, it is changed to inter. So they're the two related concepts of being intersex or not intersex, aka dyadic. Very cool. And then we're back out here with euphoria. And now we can go through the tube elevator. Or I guess we could take the stairs. Maybe they lead to the same place. Okay, that's femme. This femme room is looking very intimidating. It's a very colorful room. Femme or femme is a term that refers to a queer person whose gender expression is considered to be feminine. Femme was originally used to distinguish feminine, lesbian, and bisexual women from butch women, and is still one of the main uses of the term. It is common for trans and non-binary individuals to use the term to refer to their identity or expression, even if they do not identify as lesbian or bisexual women.
How can we subvert and use concepts that are tightly interwoven with patriarchal structures?
Yeah, so taking, I guess, the concept of feminine and masculine, originally using it in a very queer context, lesbian or bisexual women, and then taking that even further to expression, which I appreciate as someone who's non-binary, still being able to express and communicate femme experiences and not necessarily still being constrained within heteronormative concepts of gender. Non-binary, this is me, and it's purple, which is one of the flag colors for the non-binary flag. And it's also a color in the genderqueer flag. Non-binary is a term that refers to people whose gender is not completely and exclusively male or female. They can identify with having no gender at all, with both binary genders, with a third identity, or an identity which can change over time. Non-binary people fall under the transgender umbrella term, and non-binary is an umbrella term itself, although some people use it to describe their specific gender identity. Yeah, so it is an umbrella term. I think the reason non-binary really resonated with me is because growing up, I was very distressed being a woman, like extremely distressed in a lot of different ways. And I considered maybe that I might have been a transgender man. I considered that for many years, thinking that, well, if I'm not a woman, then the only other option was man. And that didn't sit with me any better than being a woman. So this term for me is maybe not the most specific term I could use, but it's the one that I use because I think it's straightforward, and it's nice that I don't have to be more specific than non-binary. I think it gets the message across and still allows me freedom from other people's expectations, as well as just freedom to move on and live my life. Ooh. Okay, I thought we were back in the dysphoria room for a second, but this is kind of a gray-green.
Do my behaviors fit into gender stereotypes? Am I gender non-conforming if they don't?
Okay, Okay, we got some good questions. Multiple paths. I'm gonna go into the they room because those are my pronouns. Oh, this is not the they room. This is the not she, her, he, him room. I guess we'll go left to right. No pronoun. Oh, there's no descriptions. Okay, so these are just like other pronoun options besides he, him, or she, her. So no pronoun. Nay, ni. I'm not sure how you would pronounce this one. Ni, nim, maybe. Then we have they or they, them. They, them, theirs, which I like this one a lot.
They walk through the door.
Oh, it gives you an example. Do all these give you an example? That would be awesome. Okay, let's try this one.
Ni walks through the door.
Ni walks through the door. Okay, that's sick. What about this one?
A person walks through the door.
Okay, no pronoun, just purely descriptive. We have one.
One walks through the door.
Z or zay, I think depending. Zay, zim, zer.
Z walks through the door.
Z walks through the door. That's really great. I love that they added the voice lines for that. And then if we go up, I guess these are more pronouns.
So I can choose my pronouns myself. I wonder what that would feel like.
I'm curious how this one's going to be pronounced because I've heard it a couple ways. I've read it a lot, but just not vocalized it a lot.
Z walks through the door.
Xi. Okay.
He walks through the door.
E, just the letter E. I also know something really cool about pronouns is pronouns in different languages. People who speak certain languages are starting to either create or establish other options than maybe more binary gender pronouns in each language, including sometimes how to write them. Because sometimes there's a verbal way to pronounce those, but not a great way to write them. Since I live in the South of the United States, there's a lot of people who speak Spanish here. And I've heard from like some Spanish speaking friends, discussions going on, I guess, in the world of Spanish speakers about not having strongly gendered pronouns. So I'm not sure where E comes from, but it might be part of that.
E walks through the door. A walks through the door. She walks through the door.
Cool. And what is really cool about this room interactively is just like you hearing someone else say it about you. Because sometimes when you think about scenarios in your head, it's just different when it's externalized from your thoughts and being in your head, and it's actually something that someone else is saying. So that was I think a really good way to do that. Oh, is this a map? This is the map. Okay, so we've done pronouns, cis, non-binary, outside, inter or dia. Let me back up a bit so I can read. Femme, Hijra or Hijra, euphoria, dysphoria. And we have some more. Let's see what's in this room. Ooh, this room is cool shapes.
What does it mean to feel good with certain clothes? In what kind of situation?
I love this. I recently, I'd say in the last 2 years, started learning more about drag and drag history and going to drag shows. And it definitely was so much more interesting and rich and diverse than I had initially thought drag was. So seeing that, I think it was a lot more accepting and representative and something I could relate to or appreciate has been a cool experience. So drag refers to the performance of masculinity, femininity, or other forms of gender expression. A drag queen is someone who performs femininity, and a drag king is someone who performs masculinity. The term may be used as a noun, as in the expression in drag, or as an adjective, as in drag show. The use of drag in this sense appeared in print as early as 1870. Okay, in the next room we have queer. With, whoa, some crazy spiral tunnels. I like this big old color circle. Originally a slur against members of the LGBTIA community, the term queer was reclaimed in the 1980s and is today a widely used umbrella term describing any person who isn't straight and cis and dia. Now we know what dia means. I didn't know what that meant before, so that's cool. While some members of these communities still reject the term due to its past, it has become one of the more widely used umbrella terms and has spawned its own field of political and academic theory, queer theory or queer studies. Yeah, something that's interesting about this, like the description brought up, I was raised during a time where queer was a empowering word. It was a word favored for its general acceptance, and it had advantages because it was seen as something that wasn't hyper specific. In the same way that non-binary is a umbrella term for gender identities, it's not hyper specific, but it's still descriptive enough. And the first instance I learned about how some people really do not like this word referring to themselves, or it makes them uncomfortable when other people use it in general, was in one of my schools I was going to. My art class teacher, I was doing a presentation on some of my art, and I used the word queer. And after class, my teacher kind of pulled me aside and was like, really love your presentation, like good work, but could you please not use that word? Could we use a different word? Or could we use LGBT or gender nonconforming? Or yeah. And I just didn't realize, like, this teacher was of an older generation, and I didn't have a lot of access or encouragement about queer history or queer community or LGBT history and community. And so I just had no idea. Of course, I respected my teacher's request, and I was like, yeah, no problem. But yeah, this is one that there's been a lot of dialogue about. I think more and more it's becoming accepted by, I guess, younger generations. Ooh, we have Demi. An interesting posts.
Are there parts of my identity that always stay the same?
Demigender, from demi-half and gender, is an umbrella term for non-binary gender identities that have a partial connection to a certain gender. Oh, I get it. So there's like maybe pieces or parts of feminine or femme gender or expression that someone might relate to or move between. And then we have staircases on the wall and on the ceiling. Maybe the tiles represent masculine expression or identity that someone might relate to. That's cool. So this is femme. We did see the femme room. This is enter. Okay, enter and dia is what we learned there. Let me go back. Okay, we're back in the queer room. I kind of want to go down this tunnel. Ooh, it spins. That's cool. Hopefully it's... I don't think this would consider as like a strobe flickering effect. Oh, it just loops around. Okay, it's the same room. That's cool. Wait, but what's up there? That's... Oh, okay, this is where we came from. No, I think this is a little different. It has like a purplish color. Oh.
Am I still the same person that I was 2 years ago?
Ooh, as you move, the towers kind of rise and fall. So I'm assuming this is for gender fluid. Gender fluid describes certain identities under the multigender, non-binary, and transgender umbrellas. Gender fluid individuals have gender identities that change over time. They could be multiple genders at once and then switch to none at all, or move between single gender identities or some other combination therein. For some gender fluid people, these changes happen as often as several times a day, and for others monthly or less often. Yeah. Nice stars on the ground. Yeah, so gender fluid can, like it said, fall under the non-binary umbrella term. I don't consider myself to be gender fluid because I feel like my sense of gender is always grounded, but it's just not grounded in man or woman. What is this? Passing. Passing describes phenomena where a trans person is read as either cis, their correct gender, and or the gender they want to be perceived as by an outside party. Being able to pass is often seen as a privilege. Historically, the term has been used for Black, Indigenous people of color, BIPOC, who were white passing, and thus able to escape some of the legal and social conventions of racial segregation and discrimination. I think when it comes to trans people such as myself who do not identify within the gender binary, so I don't consider myself a man or a woman, and most people aren't going to treat me with like neutrality when they interact with me if they don't know me already. Passing for me is, I guess, more on the side of being viewed by an outside party as like masculine or neutral, because I think my expression visually, like I guess meaning hair and clothing and ideally voice, would be more masculine expression or neutral expression. So for me, that's good enough. And I think passing sometimes is tightly tied to euphoria, or like the feelings of joy when outside people perceive you as what is most joyful for you and what makes you happy. Okay, we're in the cis loop again. We don't want to be there. No, thank you. What if I go down this left room? It goes up to the bridge. And then what if I keep going? Okay, we're at gender fluid again. Okay, we are back at the main map room. So that was dragon queer, that was pronouns. Let's see what this pathway is. Oh, I guess it's nothing. I guess we're just back at the map room. Okay, that's exit. Let's do this room, or this path. This looks like the path we entered in on, the elevator tube. One of them said void. A little ominous. Very dark in here. The term gender void describes an identity that is defined by the absence of gender. It falls under the agender umbrella. Okay, so I've heard of agender before because when I was questioning, which you can be questioning that maybe you're not cisgendered, maybe you're not straight, and then kind of open yourself up to acknowledging or accepting other parts of yourself. And you can even pick a label if you want, or start, using a label, and you can still be questioning. Like I think a big part of the community is authenticity and being genuine to yourself. And that means never feeling like you have to be locked in or that someone else is pressuring you to be or express yourself a certain way. I don't know much about the specific gender, agender identities, so I'm not sure what the difference between agender and gender void is. It might be just an umbrella term situation where agender is the umbrella term and gender void is more specific. So let's see our map. What are we missing? So something from the map room, that might be exit. I think that's it. We might have done them all. Let's, I guess, check the exit room. That kind of looks like the only one left. Oops, I think it's this way. Oh, I'm already lost. There it is. Exit, yes. Is this just gonna get me out of the game? Whoa, so many rainbow doors. I'm not doing this, by the way. This is a cutscene. Awesome. Credits, Pingu, programming. I'm not going to try and pronounce those names. These are going very fast anyways, but I do recognize some of these names from the Purple Sloth development team website. So I'll link this itch.io game below. There it is, as well as Purple Sloth Studios website. So yeah, this was created in under 36 hours for a game jam, which is really cool. It says it was created by a team of mostly queer devs who do not have firsthand experience of all identities, terms, and concepts featured. And even where they do, the experiences and the definitions used may differ from those of others who use similar labels. Most importantly, the list of identities and concepts featured are far from exhaustive. With this in mind, we hope this game can be a source of information and insight for those unfamiliar with the shown concepts, and a source of comfort and recognition for those who feel seen. What it does not aim to do is to tell anyone how they should define the labels that they apply to themselves. If you want to learn more about any of the terms and concepts, check out the sources listed under Learn More. Okay, so yeah, let's see what that's about. So there's the NB wiki. So NB, spelled this way, ENBY, is a common abbreviation of the umbrella term or gender term non-binary. Originally, it is phonetically describing the letter N and the letter B. And the reason the term, literally the letter N and B together, is not used for LGBT purposes is it actually means non-black, which is like the black community's term. Like that's what they use. That's what that term is for. So we use the ENBY spelling. I know about that. Trevor Project, training program for teachers and others who work with youth. The Trevor Project is also a really great resource for youth, LGBT youth in crisis. I believe they have many hotlines, but yes, they also have great educational programs for teachers and parents and people of that nature. Trans Lifeline, Trans Peer Support Hotline, and GLAAD, GLAAD, which is one of the oldest organizations, I think, at least in the US, that I know of. It was one of the first ones I learned about. So this was really great. It was a nice little summary of some terms not everyone may be familiar with. I certainly learned some new terms. I would love to learn more about, I guess, intersex experience and identities. I didn't know about the term dia before this. I think it was great that they featured femme or femme. Of course, since this game was made during a game jam, they couldn't do everything, but it also would have been cool to have masculinity featured, and they included gender void. I would love to learn more about agender identities. So if there were any identities or sexualities that were not represented by this game, and you want to share with me in the comments what they mean to you or what you've learned them to mean, I would love to hear that. Thanks so much for watching me play another LGBT plus tagged itch.io indie game, and I will see you later.